You're inside the press box. Christian FM Sports presents Inside the Press Box, where we discuss all sports from our favorite high school team to college and pro. Here's your hosts, Paul Tipton and Gary Paris.
Hey, Vero Nation. Paul Tipton, Gary Paris. We are in the press box. Thanks for joining us as always, as we're going to talk a little bit about last week's game against Rockledge, homecoming night at the Citrus Bowl. A lot of special things taking place there. We got a lot to cover here in just a few minutes. And then also, we're going to talk about the next game coming up, which is against Pahokee. Vero Beach will be on the road for the next couple of weeks. Got a couple of important ball games ahead of them. But first, Gary, let's recap last week. Vero Beach, after a very rainy, long week, Friday night, it kind of cleared up for us a little bit, and thanks to the nice turf, it was a nice field for sure. Homecoming night at the Citrus Bowl, Rockledge in the house. Vero wasted very little time, Gary, getting the offense rolling.
Hey, Paul, that was such a unique first quarter. I don't think I've ever, in all my times broadcasting, Vero Beach scored 4 touchdowns. Just going down, boom, 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 and boom. Just like that. Four possessions, 4 touchdowns in the first quarter. That was a unique, everything went well. Lenny had scripted his plays well, did exactly what his offense needed to do. He called the plays. Everything was executing, working out. I wasn't there. I was listening to you and Joe do the game. And what a great job. And you guys did a good job. Enjoyed listening. I'm up in Cincinnati, and I'm sitting here with a headset having dinner, and everybody's kind of, they're getting used to that with me. And what's the score, Gary? What's the score? You know what I mean? And so we got some big fans on our traveling team that have been now started following Vero Beach the last few years. And especially my play-by-play announcer, Mark Daniels, who now watches us on Friday nights at home. He turns it in, knows how to get it with his YouTube, and he flips on there and he watches us play, and he says that you and I are great. We do a good job together. So compliments to you and I say thanks.
Yeah, no kidding. That's high praise, and I don't take that lightly coming from a seasoned professional like Mark Daniels for sure. Certainly appreciate that. But yeah, it was a very interesting night, Gary, at the Citrus Bowl. I mean, first of all, we had no idea what the weather was really going to be like. You know, we were trying to figure that out. Like, it kept saying like it was going to clear up, but it just kept looking gloomy and just kind of like, I think we're going to see some rain. Yeah, we saw little sprinkles here and there. And then, of course, we get, the festivities underway, with the, had a jet fly over. That was kind of one of these things that, everybody was kind of keeping under their hat a little bit. And next thing you know, this like, shoo, comes by and you're like, going, what in the world was that? And I actually had to go back and watch. Somebody posted it on Facebook because I kept trying to look to find it. I could never find it. By the time you heard it, it was long gone. So, but yeah, speaking of long gone, I mean, Vero Beach, they made Rockledge short work in a hurry. And, Gary, it's one thing to watch your offense click on all cylinders. It's another thing to watch your big offensive tackle line up in the backfield and plow ahead from 6 yards out, mind you. This wasn't just like, let's just fall forward. From 6 yards out, Champ Smith gets handed the ball, and he just plowed through that line, the defensive line I'm talking about, and my goodness.
Well, when you said that, and you said, and Champ just went for, no, not Champ Mons, Champ Smith, you said, and I went, whoa, a little trickery, a little special recognition for the senior.
Yeah.
And, but he did it not just once.
Twice. Now, the second time, it was a 1 yard plunge.
Yeah.
But still, my goodness.
How do you stop him? He's 6'6", 305 pounds. And folks, he's quick. He's not like a slow lumbering type lineman. He's quick.
He is. He is a very athletic individual. It's impressive to watch. I got to tell you. I mean, just to watch this guy and how nimble he can be on his feet is really impressive to watch. And it was fun. It was a fun time.
Excited. You could tell in your voice that you enjoyed that. The enthusiasm and to see a big guy get his calling card and to come across.
Well, you and I have been kind of joking with Coach Jay for a little bit because we saw some plays a few weeks ago in college where they utilized a big offensive lineman. And
yes, they did, yeah.
And we're kind of saying, hey, you got a guy that you could use that way. And I never thought I'd actually see it, honestly. I really thought that, Coach was just kind of like nodding his head and smiling and going like, you guys don't have any clue how football works. That's kind of, that sarcastic smile that Coach can have sometimes, Gary.
Yeah, but again, you being there, the opening drive, the tempo, the enthusiasm, that first quarter had to be just like everything. You almost say to yourself, is it really happening? I'm calling everything and everything's working.
Yeah, it's funny, Gary, because, Joe and I, as part of pregame, one of the things I wanted to talk to him about, is game planning, and we've heard Coach talk about this, and that he's, if we're at Coach's corner, we'll ask him about, the next opponent coming up, and he's like, this is what I think they're going to do, because you don't really know. You have no idea. You can watch film, but that doesn't mean that's exactly what they're going to do. But when a game plan comes together, man, that's just got to be like an awesome feeling, because when a team comes out there and they line up exactly how you thought they were going to line up, and they play the way you thought they were going to play, and you can execute the way you can execute, that's got to be a cool feeling, because you're just like going, well, anything on this play chart I can call right now.
Well, again, Lenny's a film watcher, and he'll watch it over and over and over. So he puts, as an analyst himself, in putting it into percentages and situations. You can see it in his eyes and that when he has this, looks out there and he sees what they're running, what defense they're running up against. Mm-hmm. Lenny's already got the play. I mean, he's got it. Yeah, his analytic is right there. Mind is going, okay, this is the play I'm going to call, and this is the play I like. I got these scripts, but now I'm looking at the defenses and seeing what I'm giving. He's got somebody upstairs telling him, that, Coach, they're in a 4-3 or a 5-2 and with 4 backs, or they're in 1 deep. And so he then has fun. I mean, he does. I mean, he calls the challenge out there. And the thing what I like about him, and again, he's probably one of the smartest offensive minds I've ever been around. I mean, seriously, in high school, and we've had some good ones in college at UCF, but this guy's offensive mind is unbelievable. And the way he schemes his programs, and the way he fits his athletes, and the way he draws plays up, and they rehearse it, and they rehearse it. It's like a big show, and you're getting ready to go, but you got to go out and practice. Is like for him to rehearse all these plays, so we're ready for the show on Friday night. Yeah,
what's really cool about this season, Gary, is the different games, and we've talked about this before, each game having a life of its own, but just watching in the different ways that we've won ball games through the course of the season. I mean, you go back to Buchholz and how we were able to utilize the passing game at the end to win the ball game. Then we look at Fort Pierce Central. I mean, we attempted 4 passes in that ball game. It was all run. This game, it had a mixture. It started off with some very explosive plays through the passing game that then set us up on a short yardage. So then, as we talked about, Champ running from 6 yards out. But then, Xavier Stinson on back-to-back drives, 27-yard reception, 16-yard reception. Then you get another, the fourth possession of the night, and EJ runs it from 5 yards out. So it was a great mixture. It was a great balance of offense. And that's what I'm really enjoying so far this season, is watching the different ways we've won ball games. The defense has come up with big plays. I mean, the Fort Pierce Central game, 3 takeaways on interceptions. I mean, it's really cool. As obviously when you're winning, life is really good. But the way that we're winning is kind of fun to watch.
You said it so perfectly there that the way we're winning is like, for example, go back to the Central game. 4 passes.
Right.
When's the last time? I don't think we've ever. With Lenny Jankowski.
That's a record for Coach Jay.
I was going to say, 4 passes?
Yeah.
He's thrown that in one drive.
Right.
Many times.
Right.
But let alone a whole game.
Yeah.
But that just shows you he studied his film, he analyzed it, and he knew this could happen. And by doing that, they couldn't stop the run.
No, they couldn't. And,
but that's his wizard. As his wisdom, and he's so sharp with this. Okay, you guys want to play this game? Oh, then it's the game I'm going to play.
Right. And certainly it helps to have the athletes on the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach Jay will be the first to tell you, man, the players make you look good or they make you look bad.
He draws everything up according to his skill sets.
Right.
Everything has to be able to match.
Right. So it's been a great combination of coaching and players, athletes on the field. And with that, then it affords you opportunities to win a lot of different ways. Now, we could have had added to this game, probably should have had a special teams explosive play, a kickoff return by Crutchfield that ended up getting called back because of a penalty, questionable call. Honestly, I haven't gone back and looked at the film, but from what I was told, it probably wasn't a block in the back, but, that's the way it stood on the field. So we could have easily had, a special teams score, which, I think we've only had maybe one this year so far, which, again, adds to another dimension of how you can win a ball game.
Well, the good thing about the game was that you got 28 points right off the bat, and all of a sudden you're thinking, well, one more score and we're going to be – it's not a running clock. It's in the first half. Both coaches would have to agree to it in the first half. So, but then again, give credit then to Rockledge as they gave up 4 touchdowns, and they kind of bulled down after that a little bit.
They did. I think, give some credit to Rockledge. I think they made some adjustments, and maybe we got a little complacent too. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, you score that quickly.
Yeah.
So then, you get into the second quarter. One of the things that hurt us was we had a turnover. So trying to throw one into the end zone, the defender bats it, a tip drill happens, and, an interception happens in the end zone. So touchback. And then when here comes Rockledge, they get their own explosive play, sets them up, and they end up with a big touchdown, a 60-yard reception on a busted coverage by us. So now it's 28-7 going into halftime. Well, that's when we had the kickoff return. It looked like we could have had the momentum swing. Instead, it gets called back. We end up going to halftime. And you could just tell by the interview by Coach Jay, it was like he wasn't real thrilled with all of that because, it's like we had everything going our way. And then we just kind of, everything all of a sudden felt like it fell flat. But you come back out in the third quarter, Gary, and Rockledge, with a fumble, we get a recovery, but then we end up fumbling the ball. So it was kind of a little back and forth, but then we kind of righted the ship. Woods ends up with a 33-yard reception. Now it's 35-7. And then later in the ball game, Champ gets in another touchdown with a 1-yard run. And at that point, now we are at a running clock. Yeah.
And again, the good thing about those running clocks is that you get people in the play. You rest your starters because you got to look back now. That's you're 7-0. You still got 3 crucial games left, and again, so you take out as many people as you possibly can, and without diluting your whole defense or offense, and then you get a chance to let everybody play, and you give those guys a chance to rest because we'll talk about Pahokee here in a second, but. It was a great win. It was a big time. I mean, I say Rockledge last year was in the playoffs.
Yeah. This
year they got a new coach and they're struggling, and like a lot of teams do when they come in, and everybody some new faces and all. So, it was a good victory. Vero did what they had to do.
Yeah.
They did what they were supposed to do.
Right.
In our eyes, and in most people that have watched and followed football. Vero it was a homecoming night, and it was a It turned out to be a beautiful night, a good win.
Yeah.
And our senior quarterback was what? Chosen what?
Homecoming king. How about that?
Just fit for a guy that that is that one to be. He's a wide receiver in game one.
Gary, this is gonna be one of those seasons that not only will EJ be able to totally enjoy this and think about so fondly for the rest of his life, but I mean all of us are just enjoying the journey right now.
Depending on what the outcome is, and I think it's all going to be pretty good here in the next few weeks for Vero, is the legacy of this young man.
Right.
It will be, I mean, to come in, and I'm his biggest fan, and you are too. We've known him a long time, and I mean, he had Mike Norvell was down here to look at him and Champ, the other champ, Smith, and check his quarterback, their future Seminole, and so to me that's says a lot about EJ. EJ's he's a humble kid.
Yeah, he's a pretty quiet kid.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And he just goes out and he plays football.
Yep.
He loves it.
Yep.
He just loves playing the game. He's popular with the student body, as you announced, because he got chosen.
Yeah, no, it was great to see, and to have a good night like that, and I mean, really a great season. Honestly, you just can't even begin to talk enough about the type of season that EJ White is experiencing right now, moving from wide receiver to the quarterback position because of an injury situation. This was not what was scripted at all, but I mean, my goodness, he has accepted the role and he is just absolutely flourishing right now.
Well, he had in his game now. Lenny got to throw more than 4 passes this last game. Okay,
a few.
He called 24 of them. He completed 17 of them for 242 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that one flip-flop bouncing around interception in the end zone.
Yeah,
that was the only hiccup in this whole.
Yeah,
game.
and that really was just a good play by Rockledge. Honestly, I mean, it was there. I mean, the pass was on the mark. The defender just made a great play on it, and it just happened to be that you had another defender right there, able to catch it. I mean, it could have easily fallen to the ground, and we could have had another chance at it. But it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, 17 of 24, 242 yards, 3 touchdowns. Not a bad night.
Not a bad night. And then you go down and you look at, I think Hillsman's having a fantastic year.
Yeah.
The problem is, so is EJ White when he runs.
Right, no kidding.
I mean, it's who do you stop? You're going to put your keys on what? One guy?
Right.
Then the other guy breaks loose and runs? You dual threat running game.
It's a good problem.
Hillsman had 53 yards on 7 carries, and EJ had 65 yards on 5 carries and a touchdown. And then you had the big guy coming in, rushing and getting 2 touchdowns. So it was and again, then receiving Xavier Stenson, 7 catches, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What a night.
It's a good night for him.
Yes, it is.
Very good night. I'm happy for that young man to get those couple touchdowns, because he's been a big target out there by the defense.
He's unselfish.
He's been double teamed most of this season,
and he's willing to be a team guy.
Yep.
He doesn't go back and gripe and say, "Coach, I need the ball. I need some throws to me." Yep. Whatever's there, he's going to get. And he got 10 catches.
Right.
7 catches.
7. Yeah.
7 by number 10.
Yeah, 7 by number 10 for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, I'm glad to see him get rewarded with a stellar night. So now Vero Beach, Gary, moves to 7-0. The rankings are what they are. We're number 1 in 7A. When you look at the power rankings, we're still at the top. It's getting closer and closer, and part of that is just because our strength of schedule has dropped a little bit because some of our opponents that we thought would be stronger opponents haven't played as well this year. I mean, perfect example is Cocoa. They've only got a couple of wins this season. I don't think anybody really projected that type of season for Cocoa. So your strength of schedule's fallen off just a little bit, and you've got teams like DeLand and Spruce Creek that are right there with the same basic overall rating. So, can we stay at the top, number one overall in 7A as far as the power rankings go? I don't know. The next few weeks are going to be really interesting.
Well, the only thing that matters to me about being number one is that, we want to be able to have a home game all the way through the first 3 rounds.
Correct. So if we stay number one overall, then we would. But right now, I would say as far as region, we're region 3 for 7A. Right now, by the way it looks, we're secure in that number one spot. There's nobody, the number 2 team in the bracket is not that close to us. There's enough margin there to where you feel pretty confident that if Vero continues to win out, that they can hold on to that number 1 seeding for the bracket. Where it will get tricky is if, that overall 7A rating, if we're number 1, then we would for sure have home field as long as we're in the playoffs. If we don't hold that, then who knows? Yeah,
exactly. So this sets up this matchup to Friday night is with Pahokee.
Yep.
Now, Paul, I look at Pahokee is probably somewhere between 2 and 3 of the best teams we've played this season.
Mm-hmm.
Buchholz was the best team we played so far this year.
Yep.
They're good.
Yep.
They're still good.
Yep.
They haven't lost but 1 game. And then the other team that I put it close in there is Central. Fort Pierce Central is having an exceptionally great year, and
Galley's not playing too bad either.
Galley, but they're not in our class. I mean, I say that, you're right, Galley, but I like Pahokee, even though they're rural and they're a team but they got skilled athletes.
Yeah, they do. That's always the case for Pahokee. If you've ever followed Pahokee for any length of time, you know that Pahokee, I mean, there's something about that area, Gary, that Belle Glade, that southeastern part of Lake Okeechobee area that just, they're
homegrown right around there,
right.
And they don't move to West Palm Beach, and they all live in their neighborhoods right there, and it's Antoine Bolden, a name that goes back to Florida State and to the NFL, superstar in NFL, and was a Pahokee young man. And I'll never forget his skill sets, and we brought
Janoris Jenkins. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's been several athletes. In fact, I know, Sports Illustrated, ESPN, they've done a number of stories about that area, and per capita, more kids have gone on to the NFL from that area than any other place in the country. That's amazing to me. That just tells you there's talent there, and a lot of kids are looking to build up. They get a lot of athleticism there. They're looking for that opportunity to go to to college.
Absolutely, and they know they're going to be coaches coming down there and looking at them.
Right.
Their head coach, Carlos Lamons, is the second year. Last year, he was 7-4. He's only lost 1 game this year. And he's got this team rolling.
Yeah.
They're led by quarterback Xavier Mitchell, who has thrown for 1,232 yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's completing 68% of his passes. So
pretty good.
But that's one head of the snake.
Okay.
The other head of the snake is a running back, and Sam Arnold has rushed for. I think there are 7 games or 8 games. 8 games in, or they played
7. I think
7 games.
6-1 right now.
6-1.
Yeah.
He's rushed for 958 yards.
Ooh.
That's 8 touchdowns. You have you think you try to stop the passing game, then you got a guy like Sam Arnold who can run, and that's amazing. And then they got great receivers. They've got a kid named Kamari Foreman who has 22 catches, for 291 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Sam Arnold coming out of the backfield. He's 10 catches. Now listen to the stat. 10 catches, 269 yards. That's 27 yards a catch almost right there.
Yeah.
Then the other one's T. Gooden, who cut 10 passes, 182 for a touchdown. And they have a fourth one just to throw him in there because he's got 11 receptions. It's 227 for and 0 touchdowns. That is their offense. Their offense is well balanced. I mean, it is you pick your what are you going to try to stop? You going to stop the passing game, or are you going to stop the running game?
That sounds familiar, Gary. Like, who would that be? Oh, yeah, that's like Vero.
It's exactly like Vero Beach. But their defense plays solid, too. Again, they only have one loss, and that was to a one of the
Cardinal Newman,
one of the private school, which is an excellent team.
Yeah.
And their defense is led by a linebacker that this young man is phenomenal, in my opinion. When you watch or look at him, Antonio Simpson has 55 total tackles. Now, listen to me very carefully out there, listeners. 25 tackles for losses.
Whoa.
8.5 sacks.
Oh.
Okay, that's this young man at linebacker. And then they got another guy, defensive tackle, is C.J. Embry. 39 tackles, 13 of them tackles for loss, and 8 sacks on the line. I mean, this is a team that's got athletes on both sides of the play. And even the wide receiver, Gooden, who plays both ways, has 10 tackles for loss and a 1.5 sacks. Very loaded defense, Paul.
All right, Champ Smith, Vargas, Rojas, Dames, and Phillips. You guys got your work cut out for you this week. No kidding. That offensive line's going to have to give EJ some time.
That's why I've always earlier in the year, you and I talked. I circled 2 games. Was Buchholz, and at the time I didn't know how good Central was going to be, but and Pahokee. I knew this would be a challenge for us. Booker T, I saw when I read some articles on them, they had a whole bunch of new people coming in, and so I thought we had a good chance of beating them too. So, but these 2 games, we did good with Buchholz. Now we got to find ourselves playing a very competitive, athletic team.
On the road, too, by the way.
On the road.
That always brings another X factor into the equation. So Vero Beach has definitely got its work cut out for them. Game time on this one is going to be a little earlier than normal. It's a 6:30 kickoff, so make sure to note that because they're just going to get things going a little bit earlier down there in Pahokee. So 6:30 kickoff, and we're planning on actually starting our pregame show around 6 o'clock, and we'll do a little shorter pregame show just because of the nature of everything. So it's going to be a good time. If you can't be down there, obviously you can listen to it or watch it on our YouTube channel, Vero Nation Network. And Garrett, it's going to be a fun time.
It's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to the challenge because I think games like this do nothing to you except make you better.
Yep.
They're just one of those games where you're a few weeks from getting into the playoffs and you want to get better. And this is a way to measure yourself at the time of the season, how well you're playing.
100%. All right. Well, Friday night, 6:30 kickoff. You can join us down there at Pahokee, or you can listen or watch it through ChristianFM.com or on YouTube at Vero Nation Network. Gary Parrish, Paul Tipton, thanks for joining us in the press box. As always, go Indians.
Thanks for joining us inside the press box. For more, go to ChristianFM.com.